Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me on another Client Spotlight series. I'm Katrina Marie Watson, and I have my beautiful client here, Alev, who is going to share with you her experience today inside of the Confident Counselor program. And I'm so excited because we just started our call a few minutes ago, and she was sharing all these delicious wins with me. And this is the magic that gets to happen when you show up, you do the work, and you put yourself in situations that can feel a little uncomfortable, but has a high return on investment. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce my beautiful client, Alev. And Alev, I want to just welcome you today. Where were you in your career before you joined my private coaching?
I was actually in the right place where I really want to be in my career, but there was something missing. That was something personal that I had. I have two teenagers, my two beautiful children, and they are in secondary now. And I was like, even though I am from educational background and I still work at the educational sector, I was not very sure about how to help my own children in terms of guiding them towards university application. And as their mom, I know them better than anyone in the world. But being stuck at that point was kind of annoying me. And this is where I met you. That was the perfect timing for me.
Thank you so much for sharing that. And yes, I've even gotten to chat with your children, and they're really blossoming into just incredible young people. And I loved always hearing about all the cool things that they were getting up to. And just through our conversations, I saw you would slowly encourage them to even take risks outside of the classroom as well, and even in the classroom with their studies. So what did you feel when you saw my offer, the Confident Counselor program?
The minute I saw that, I was like, she is, I think, the person that I need to go to. That was the initial thought that went into my mind, really. And well, actually, it was really, because for many reasons, but the one is that I can trust you with your knowledge in this area. As a mom, that is very important for me, and that I can trust whatever you say. 100% that is the truth.
So why did you decide to join? Like, what helped you actually make that decision? Because we didn't actually jump on like a call where you asked me a bunch of questions. We were just messaging back and forth for maybe like 45 minutes to an hour. And I just kind of was like, Alev, how can we make this work? So what helped you make that decision?
Well, the questions that I was asking during those 45 minutes was only about logistics, because we have a very busy life because of my husband's job. So I was just not very sure whether I would be able to finish it within 2 months. That was actually my biggest concern. The concern was not about whether you are the right person for me to go, but it was about whether I would be able to arrange my schedule to get that, unique information from you within that period of time. So, and you were so flexible, you were so accommodating, and thank you very much for that. That due to our busy life, you extended that program, and it was really helpful.
I'm so glad, because yes, I think a lot of people feel like there's certain barriers that prevent them from showing up and making that decision, whether it's the time commitment or it feeling like it's too fast paced, whatever that might look like. So what were like the top, let's say 3-ish things that you learned since you signed up that had the biggest impact on your results?
I think the sources that you provided were these real sources that guidance and counselor need to have in his or her pocket. They were the true sources and reliable sources, because on the internet, you can have many sources, but you would never know which one to trust, but you should directly. So it was kind of getting a shortcut, getting the real access, the trustable access, and the reliable access in a very shortcut way to save a lot of time.
Absolutely. Like, I'm all about collapsing the timeline. What I learned in like the last almost 2 decades, I want to just consolidate it and make it just straightforward, simple, like almost like a no-brainer, like literally taking my brain, putting it on the table and giving it to you, right?
And this is exactly how I feel. After the first session, this is exactly how I feel, that you literally share whatever you have experienced in those years in your career. You're just sharing with them, and you share it genuinely, really. And you're not like saving some pieces for later. No, at the right time, you just share it genuinely and generously. And that is something that I needed as a mom. And as a person who comes from the educational background as well, this is exactly what I needed.
Amazing. Were there any other things you learned since you signed up that also had other impact on your results?
Yeah, like on personal level, that is something that I like being a teacher as well. You share what you know, right? And you enjoy when you share what you know. So I organized a free information session within my neighbor, and I invited other moms who were stuck like me, and I provided them information about what I gained from you, and it was very valuable for them. And they still come back, and they're still like, Alev, remember the thing that you asked about? You told us about the personal statement and this and that. You were right. You know what? This happened, and I knew what to do. Blah blah. So it is something, as a personal level. That's a big gain for me.
Yes. Every week there was always, so much progress. I remember one of the sessions we talked about how all the neighborhood kids would come and ask you, Ms. Alev, like, how do I do this? And you would say, well, I wish I could help you. And I was like, oh, no, you're never saying that again. You're going to tell them, I know exactly how to help you. And that's what we've done in our work together. So, Alev, what are your maybe overall wins since you joined the program?
Now I have a lot of clarity in my mind about how to help my own children and how to help my own students and how to guide them to the right direction with the right guidance. I think it's a huge responsibility to guide young people for their life and their parents, because when they come to you, they're totally lost. Not only the kids, but the parents are also lost and desperate because they come that far, and they, at that very crucial moment, they don't know what to do. It's so desperate, so annoying. And that feeling is really, really desperate. And that correct information and correct guidance at that point is very, very crucial. And I think the biggest win for me is that now I am able to provide that for my own kids and for my students and for the people around myself.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. Now, Alev, how did you find the coaching calls and the overall vibe of the program?
Oh, wonderful. There were times that it's just a bit too much for me. I just cannot keep up with all this knowledge. And you were always there. No, you will just go over the notes. You will just go over the web pages that I provided. You'll get there. You'll get there. You were always very, very supportive, even when I was not that positive about.
So yeah, and what would you say like to someone who is secretly thinking about joining, but maybe is afraid to take that leap?
As a mom, if you're thinking about having the right investment to guide your own children, I think you would be the best fit for that role. And as a counselor already working in the sector, I think you would also provide amazing experience and feedback on the job that those people are doing.
Thank you so much for saying that. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
I know it's a big decision, but I really want to say that it's a huge investment, but it's a really good investment for life. Yeah.
Thank you so much for saying that. I think that the return on investment is even greater when you think about the cost and the time that you invest into anything, whether it's another degree or certification or my program. You have to think about what the return on investment is. And like you said, it's really helping your own children and then those around you. And then it just keeps spreading from that point forward, making a difference in people's lives. So thank you so much, Alev, for joining me today on Client Spotlight Series. I'm so grateful that we've gotten to get to know each other. And I know that down the road, we're only going to continue to work together. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Likewise.